Hey guys, welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're gonna do something a little bit different than we regularly do on this channel. I wanna go ahead and talk about the pedals that I currently own or I've owned in the past and rank them. So that's right, we're gonna do a tiers list, and this is all gonna be my opinion. You may think that a certain pedal deserves to go above another or under another, and that's all right. You got your opinion, but I thought it'd just be fun to give my own thoughts and rank these pedals. Let me just quickly explain the ranking tier system that we're using here. I thought about putting an F for just flat out fail or bad pedal, but the more I thought about it, I don't know that there is a bad pedal per se. You know, and I'm not talking about quality build. I'm sure there are some of those, but just in its use case, you know, what you think is a bad pedal might be the perfect sound for this and so forth. So I'm not gonna go with F, but I am gonna go with D as a specific use. And so that may be a pedal that I just think is not for me, or I didn't like it, or its sound is just a specific use case that, hey, might work for you type of thing. Now, in no particular order, let's start with the first pedal here. And we have the Walrus Audio Deep 6. Now, I think this is a good pedal. I still have it. And it has a blend feature, which I see some pedals that come out even nowadays still don't have. I think for the Deep 6, I'm gonna go with a good pedal. Next, we have the Jackson Audio Optimus. And so this is a Klon style, Klon type style. Why can I not say this? And it's a dual overdrive, with one of the sides being the Klon style and then the other one, I think it was a more flatter response. I can't remember exactly what it's based off of. We gotta go great. Next, we have the Greer Amps Lightspeed. And this, I think, is gonna be our first S tier elite. For me, I don't have to think about it twice. Everything just sounds better when it's turned on. So next we have the Walrus Audio Ages. It's an overdrive, and what's cool about it is that it comes with 5 different clipping modes, so you can go from some really soft clipping to some much harder clipping if you wanted to take it to more distortion level. I think we're gonna go with good for that one. Next, we have the Universal Audio Ruby. Really like the way that it felt under the fingers and the sounds. I think I remember not really liking the way it break up too much, but outside of running and crushing it with a lot of volume or gain, it's still a great modeler. So we are gonna go with great. Next, we have the Source Audio Collider. The only reason that it didn't quite work for me was that even using MIDI, it did not have spillover. And so I want to be able to switch settings and not have any drops in sound. Throw it in the good category. Next, we have the Walrus Audio R1. And what it had going for it really is the size. It's so compact. It's got presets, got MIDI, but I really missed the screen. So we're going to go great. It's a really great pedal. Next, we got the king of reverbs, Big Sky, Strymon Big Sky. No second thoughts, S tier, elite. The Big Sky is an icon, a staple. Even in 2024, I don't think you can go wrong with the Big Sky. So next we have another modeler with the IK Multimedia Tonex. I think this is the hottest modeler probably right now. You know, I see so many people have moved over to this platform. We're gonna throw the Tonex up there, and in that same light we have the Tonex 1. So this is the baby brother that came out more recently. I will say I like the form factor of the small Tonex, but I do miss the screen. So I had the big one first, and then I got the Tonex 1 after, and being able to make those minute details, you know, by decimal points with the screen was a lot easier for me to dial things in when I wanted with the sounds. We'll put that in S tier as well. They're both really, really good. Just depends on the feature set that you want. Next, the Eventide H90. For me, this is a no-brainer. I know some of y'all might be saying, oh, it's not even a fair fight. It's a modeler with so many things compared to some of these other pedals. Hey, that's okay. For me, this is an S tier pedal any way you look at it. Next, we have the DRV Inventions 1981. This is a boutique rat. I'm gonna go with great. Next, we have the Vertex Ultrafonics. This is, if I'm not mistaken, based off the Overdrive Special, the Dumbo Overdrive Special, and it's a really great pedal. I really love the compact size of it. Sound-wise, it is really good, although I don't find myself reaching for it often, admittedly, but that doesn't mean it's not a good pedal. So we're gonna go with good for the Ultrafonics. So next we have the Vertex Steel String, and so I actually have both the single channel version and then the Steel String Supreme, which includes that single channel version. I think it does what it's marketed for, with that clean drive type of sound, really fattening up a bass tone. I will say I think I could live without it. Do I like it? Yes, but I don't know. For me, the single channel is gonna be a meh. Now, the Steel String Supreme version, I think, is a lot more interesting, because with having two channels, you can kind of set them a little differently and maybe use it to push the other channel, or just push your amps or whatever you're using. I'm gonna go with a good pedal. Next, we have the DSM Humboldt Simplifier Deluxe. I think the best part of this is just the routing options. It is stereo out, and not just 1/4 inches, but XLR. That's still hard pressed to find. I mean, the UA Ruby and the Dream, even the Tonexes don't have XLR out. And so if you need that, the Simplifier Deluxe is amazing. So we're gonna go with great. Next, we have the Dunlop Mini Volume. It's just a volume, but no batteries needed, no power needed. It's been super reliable. We're gonna go with great. So next we have the Analog Man Prince of Tone. I can't say I've found a lot of use for it. The toggle switch is really nice to change the clipping options, and I think on lower gain stuff it really shines. I gotta do it. It's meh. For me, it's meh. It's all right. So next we have the Jackson Audio Bloom. This is a compressor pedal, and it is just full of features, from clean blend to EQ to even a volume boost. This thing can do so much. So versatility wise, it's amazing. I think we gotta go with good. Actually, I think the features are gonna knock it up to great. Next, we have the Brown Amplification Gritador, or Gritador as they call it. This is a tube screamer type of pedal. If you're into that sound, it is a really good pedal. I don't think it's a fail, but I think I gotta put it either in meh or specific use. So specific use, I really want to put it in C for meh, because for me that's just not the sound that I reach for. But truly, I don't know a lot of folks that are rocking a tube screamer, especially in the worship vein. So I just got to put it under specific use. Next, we have a pretty iconic pedal from Boss. The Blues Driver is one of their best ones. So this is an overdrive or more distortion. The Blues Driver is a really good pedal. I really like it. I think it's very useful throughout the sweep of the gain. I would recommend it to friends, and so I gotta go great. It's a great pedal. Next, we have the Line 6 HX1. If you're familiar with the HX family, you know the sounds are awesome. Although personally, the overdrives aren't for me. Everything else though, modulation, reverb, delay, top notch. So I think with the HX1 though, I'll go great. So next we have the Harby Centauri. So this is a Klon type of pedal. I do like the sound that it has. I have recommended it to friends. Good it is. Next, we have the Brown Amplification Protein. No brainer. This is an elite pedal. And it's kind of funny because I have one Brown Amplification pedal in Elite and the other one in the D specific use. Man, those sounds are no joke. Next, we have the Jet Pedals Lamb. So this is a really cool pedal in theory. In execution, it was not my favorite. Knobs not having full sweeps and having to go in stages, I get why Jet Pedals does it that way, and they've explained it's because of the MIDI. It is a MIDI overdrive, and that is a rare feature. So if that's something you're looking for, you know, this may be one of the few options on the market. So that does have that going for it. But I just could never get, it just seemed like every drive sound I wanted was always in between where I can never get. So if I wanted a 1.5, it was either you choose 1 or a 2. I can never get that 1.5 like you can on normal overdrives where you can sweep the range. So the design, the artwork, awesome. Obviously, Lion and the Lamb, worship music, it goes hand in hand, so that's really great too. But I think I gotta go meh. Let's grab the Jet Pedal Lion and put it there. Hopefully, if they have a V2 and you can sweep it better, or there's just more increments in between, I would love to come back for those pedals, because aesthetics wise, they've been one of my favorite pedals I've ever owned and ever seen. Next, we have the Hot Tone Soul Press 2. So this is a volume pedal, an expression pedal, a wah pedal. It is power operated or battery dependent. So I would say that is the one drawback, is I had a limited power supply and I could just not afford one of those slots for my volume pedal. I think I would put it in the good category, just not for me because of the power requirements. Next, we have the JHS Morning Glory. This pedal's been around for forever, needs no introduction. Really good pedal. I'm gonna go with B tier good. Next, we have the JHS Kill. For me, this is the definitive JHS pedal. If I could only have one from JHS, it'd be this one. I'm gonna go with A great. Next, we have the Humboldt Magellan, and it's an overdrive pedal. I just remember loving the aesthetic, loving the knob controls, but I could just not get this pedal to work for me. Something about it was always too dark. I had that tone knob cranked and it just would not work out for me. So I'm gonna go with specific use. Next, we have the Walrus Audio Julia, one of the best choruses vibrato pedals just ever made, I think so. And with that, we're gonna throw it into the great. Next, we have the Electro Harmonix Micropog. I'm gonna throw that into the great category. So next we have the Disaster Area Designs MIDI Baby 3. It is a MIDI controller. I think for the price, the size and the form factor and the feature set, there's not a lot out there that could beat this. And so for me, it's been, I actually own two of them. It's been a staple in the way that I like to work my pedals. We are gonna go with, well, yeah. It's a great pedal, it's a great pedal. Next, we have the Morningstar MC6, 100%. This is elite tier. I don't know of a better company doing MIDI controller stuff than Morningstar. Next, we have the Rockstock Nano Tuner. I know, just a tuner. It is really nice, really affordable, super easy to use. That the tuner is actually a mute button as well, so it was nice to have that feature. I will say if there is a drawback to this, because I don't know how much of a drawback there can be for the price, but the tuning wasn't always as fast. Sometimes I'd have to, hit the note and give it a second. I'll go with good. Next, we have the Cornerstone Nero Fuzz. Super versatile because you can tame some of that fuzz and make it more like a heavy distortion. So got a lot of good options there. I think we're gonna go with, would I recommend it? Yes, but I think it's better than good. Yeah, it's a great pedal. Next, we have the Nobles ODR1. Kind of like the Tube Screamer though, I think it has a particular sound. So I think we gotta go good. Next, we have the Kali 76 compressor. For me, it's the best compressor I've owned. We're gonna go with great. Next, we have the MXR Polyblue Octave. Functionality wise and feature wise, this thing is amazing. Not only can it do 1 octave, it can do 2 octaves both ways. It could even be a semi-modulation pedal because it's got like this chorus vibrato type of feature. You could do polyphonic octave, you can do monophonic octave, and it's just feature set. It's got a lot more going for it than the Micropog, but I'm gonna put it in the good tier. Next, we have the Polytune 3 Tried and True. We're gonna go with be good. So next we have the Benson preamp, and this is their Chimera amp in a box. This one actually has a bass and treble EQ, so I think it offers a lot more versatility when EQing it, and that's what's made it one of my favorites. So I think with the Benson, we gotta go great. Next, we have the GFI Synesthesia. Smaller than the H90. We're gonna throw it in the great tier. Next, we have the Strymon Zuma and the Ojai. Now, I know not your conventional pedals. In fact, I wouldn't consider them pedals, but none of these pedals are working without a power supply. And so for me, the Zuma and the Ojai gotta be S tier. They have been reliable, they have been clean power, And with the 500 milliamp outputs, I've never had to worry, even on the power hungry pedals like the Big Sky or the H90. There's just always been enough power. Next, we have the Strymon Timeline, and just like the Big Sky, no brainer, gotta put it in the S tier. Still top notch to this day. You'll find it on many top lists, so it's gotta be S tier. Next, we have the Peterson Strobe Tuner. It's just a tuner, but it has a really big screen. I really like it, and it is one of the pedals I gotta look at the most because of my tuning, so I'm gonna have to throw it. Yeah, we'll throw it in the good tier. Next, we have the UA Audio Dream, and so I'm gonna throw that in, surprise, the good tier. It's good, it's good. I would recommend it if you want that Fender sound. You know, in terms of modelers, it's a good one, but I think it's not as good as the Ruby, in my opinion. For the last couple pedals here, they're more multi-effects, kind of like the H90, but I wanted to throw them in here as honorable mentions because I have owned these or currently own this. The first one being the Pod Go, and if the full Helix, well, let me get this out the way. The Helix, S tier, 100%. Before I ever had a pedals, I had the Helix, and to this day, it still does so much. Line 6 support for it is phenomenal. They're constantly updating that thing, throwing new sounds into it. So 100% would still recommend it to anyone to this day. If that didn't exist, the Pod Go would be up there. But now, of course, the Pod Go doesn't have as much DSP, so you can't make as complicated as routings. But effects-wise, you know, the quality is the same. So if you like the Helix, you like the Pod Go, sound-wise, it's the same. I do like that you can go wireless with the Pod Go. That is something that the Helix floor doesn't have, so that is a nice touch. But I will throw the Pod Go in the great category. All right, guys, that's gonna do it for this video. I hope you found this fun to talk through, and let me know what your thoughts are and what you thought of these rankings and maybe where you would place some of these pedals yourself. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.